Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I was sat downstairs with a cup of tea and I was watching The Brain of Morbius. Then I got thinking about The Timeless Child. That's been one of the most controversial and most talked about topics within the last, I would say, 30 years of Doctor Who. So I thought I'd do a short video on it and see what I say about it.
Yeah, that'll do it. I'll do it nicely. Ooh, jelly babies.
First of all, my initial thoughts of The Timeless Child. It's something different. It's something reactionary, something to get people talking. I don't think something like that's happened. I'd obviously said 30 years, but a lot of people thought that David Tennant's duplicate regeneration was a bit of a stand away from the original rules of you get one regeneration each time. But it's got to be said, my initial reaction was this is going to impact it big time. But then also at the same time, with the initial reaction to the fandom of most of the writing when it comes to Doctor Who recently, when it comes to Doctor Who series 11 and 12, I've got to say I think it's going to get put under the rug. I think we're going to find out something within the future that that it's either someone else and it's not the Doctor. Could it be maybe Rassilon? Maybe there have been rumours that he could be appearing as a cameo in series 13 that came round. I think that was during the very first lockdown here in the UK, when the first initial rumours of Jodie was actually leaving came out. My next question I've got to ask myself is, does this impact the way I watch previous seasons within Classic and New Who? It does a little bit. It kind of sours it because it takes the danger level down. I've been watching a lot of classic Doctor Who recently. I've gone through majority of 2 now because a lot of them are animated. There's only a few missing, which is fantastic, and I hope within the next few years that gets sorted. But when it comes to the rewatches, because the Doctor can't initiate. I know he can die during the regeneration. If as we saw within season 6 with the 11th Doctor, if he gets shot during the regeneration, he can die. But initially, knowing that it's endless, it does take the level down of danger for the Doctor. It's like another motion, and I think they should have thought that through before they'd done what they did with The Timeless Child. I'm sure there was a lot of thinking towards it, and my initial reaction was I loved the episode of The Timeless Child. There's a lot of fans that didn't enjoy it. I was one of the felt at the time like I was one of the few. But I did enjoy the entire episode because I like Sacha Dhawan as the Master. I thought when I watched him in Iron Fist, I thought at the time I was sat with a friend and I actually commented that he would be perfect as casted as the Master. And when he got announced, I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was really happy that it got announced that he was going to be the Master. But when it comes to The Timeless Child, I find myself sat there and I'm going, but these dangers don't really matter to the Doctor. It's like when you're flicking through YouTube and I happen to watch the 8th Doctor miniature episode before the 50th. Again, you thought he was dead. No, he's not, because he's the Timeless Child. It does take the edge away from the rewatchability of Classic and New Who, because there's no gripping end story to it. I love the stories. I love Doctor Who completely. But I just think The Timeless Child is, even though initially I was in love with the concept, over time I've started to asking questions because I know what happens in the future. The next thing I asked myself was, are we already started to see the effects of them taking down the Timeless Child and maybe trying to bury it? Because in a passing conversation in the Dalek special, there was an obvious conversation between Ryan and 13, between the concept of identity and who she initially is at her core. But the truth of the matter is, with the amount of characters that were before William Hartnell, well, that's the way it was perceived within the Timeless Child episode, she doesn't really know who she was to who she is. And it's going to be an interesting journey to, especially with 13 and coming up to series 13, it's going to be interesting to see how they resolve it. But I did feel like during that conversation with Ryan, because usually he just stands like a wire brush, and it was mentioned in such lesser passing, and it was mentioned in a passing comment with Captain Jack in the Dalek special. So I do think in the future it is going to get sorted. It is going to get buried. It is going to. Even though I'd like to, even though I'm not initially, in the long term, a fan of the idea, I would say probably the best thing to do is, or indicate it that it's the Master. Could be setting up towards the Master being the Timeless Child, or there's some sort of twist that the Tecteun is actually the Timeless Child. But Tecteun is a video to come. I thought I'd have a chilled out, frank, short discussion on the Timeless Child here on the channel. If you like what I do here and you enjoy the subject matter of Doctor Who, please give me a like and comment and subscribe. I'd love to be in a conversation with fellow Whovians and fans. I look forward to doing these videos, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.